Jeremy Newberry played 8 years at center for the San Francisco 49ers. According to the lawsuit, the 38-year-old suffers from renal failure, high blood pressure, and violent headaches because of all the pain medication he was given by team doctors and trainers to get him on the field.
Some games, I'm taking 2 or 3 Vicodin before the game, 2 or 3 Vicodin at halftime, taking a shot of Toradol before the game, and then getting both shoulders, hand shot up before the game.
The lawsuit alleges the NFL has illegally and unethically substituted pain medications for proper health care to keep the NFL's tsunami of dollars flowing.
The National Football League is the sports behemoth in America, able to do whatever they want almost whenever they want and not be questioned by anybody. At least that has been the prevailing thought for decades. But the recent player lawsuits over concussions has opened the door for players to be more proactive in how they have been used and treated over the years by the teams and the league. And the use of pain-killing drugs has finally caught the attention of the federal government because of players who are speaking out. This game is now changed forever. On Stick and Ball today, welcome to MidPoint as we delve into what could turn into another sport-altering moment for America's most popular game. Nationally recognized legal expert Adam Thompson joins us. Adam, thanks for being here.
Hey, my pleasure, and thanks for having me on.
Adam, we look at players like, and I know you're speaking from New York, so let's make sure we even make this a little New York-centric right here. We have guys like Ray Lucas that used to play for the New York Jets, who was talking about the tremendous amount of pain that he undergoes every single day now because he was given drugs. They gave him all sorts of medications during his playing years here. Wait a minute, I'm going to play the other side of this. There are people out there who will say, didn't the players know that they were being jacked with drugs in the first place, so it's not as if it just happened by osmosis?
Hey, listen, players want to play. They want to get their big contracts. More importantly, owners want to make the maximum profit they can, so they want to keep people in the seats with a winning team. How do you keep a winning team in a brutal sport like football? You got to keep them medicated and get them out on the field. If they're not out on the field, then the team doesn't do well. You don't sell tickets, you don't get those good promotional revenues. So their incentive is keep players out on the field, so they didn't care how they did it. Much like steroids hitting baseball, this could be the new steroid score hitting the NFL about prescription medications to get these players to play at all costs. They didn't care how it would impact the player, the long-term effect on the player, or those type of things. Just win, 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 make money, money, money. That's what it was about.
Isn't it fair to say this could be a lot worse for the National Football League than the steroid issue? Because if you look back on what went on there, we're not talking about medications that you need prescription for in every single case here. We are talking about literally millions of pieces of medication that are giving out every single season.
This could be much, much, much worse than steroids was to baseball, for the simple reason that steroid use was done by a lot of players without the teams claiming that they knew what was going on and so forth. Here, you're talking about the trainers and doctors of the teams actually medicating these players to make sure they can get out on the field. That's what was most important to the ownership and the team itself. So with the understanding that the players were being pushed out by the owners themselves with the support of the staff, meaning the doctors and trainers, that's a huge black eye that they can't overcome because every team was doing it. So you're saying the whole culture of the NFL knowingly was to get profits at the cost of its players.
And
that's huge.
Speaking of the profits, I want you to hear, you've probably heard this already, but I want our viewers to hear this. This is Jim McMahon, played quarterback for the Chicago Bears, and this is a guy who is in horrible shape right now after the game and pretty much has admitted in many instances that he took just about everything that they threw at him. But here's McMahon talking about what this has all meant to him and what happened during his playing years.
And they continue to make, billions and billions of dollars. They threw out $760 million to us, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it's 1% of what they make. And that fund's supposed to last 65 years. That won't last 2 years the way they got it structured.
Adam, let's look at this legally now from the players who are bringing lawsuits. Certainly there's the concussion lawsuits, and there very likely will be lawsuits after this once this all starts to get sorted out. The government gets involved here. Exactly what Jim McMahon said there. We got paid. We knew what it was. They handed it. We all want to win. People will still say that you knew what you were taking. So how does this all shake out legally then if the players go back in and say, I knew the drug you were giving me, but then again, I really didn't know what it would do to me. How does that work legally?
Well, legally, the first thing, you got to look at who was giving out the medication to the players. If trainers were doing it, trainers under the law aren't allowed to give out make prescriptions or give out prescription drugs. That only comes from a doctor. So first off, the trainers are going to be the weak link. They'll be the ones that, like, the government goes after when they do this investigation to try to say, listen, we know that you were injecting people, giving out medications. You're not supposed to do it. We'll strip your license. You'll never work again. They're going to pressure them to talk. Then they'll go after the doctors next, saying, listen, if you're giving out medications, everybody knows first you got to do an exam, then you got to show a medical necessity for the need for the drug. If they can't do those things, then the doctor's licenses are at issue, and they may even face charges. Everyone remember Michael Jackson getting all that illegal stuff? Conrad Murray's in jail now because of it. So there can be even criminal charges down the line for doctors if they really violate the law, really, and show that the abuse is clear. In this situation, they'll say the players knew. How much did they know? They might have just been told, hey, you want that pain to go away? You want to get back on the field? Remember the movie Any Given Sunday? They show them in there talking about it. That depicts it better than anything. That's almost as true to life as you get. These players just want to get out there and do their best. So they might have told them it's a temporary fix. When they're getting those drugs, they may not know, hey, you can get addicted to it. Hey, you like the feeling of it. You want it every Sunday then. And then it's long-term effects. And then you have the breakdown of the body and everything else like steroids that follows. And most of them, trust me, did not know that. That'll be the focus of the lawsuit, that they were given it, even with an understanding that they were taking it at the time. They didn't know long-term how the effects would be. And they're going to argue negligence on the part of the team and the doctors for allowing them to use it and not properly informing them. And it's going to have some weight. It's going to have some weight. It's going to be a strong case.
20 seconds left here. Any doubt in your mind that if indeed the DEA does go after him, they are successful, that this will change the face of professional football forever simply because of the injury factor that goes on in this game and then the drugs that they can and cannot use?
Great question. It will 100% change the face of football because it's all about money. Money, money, money. If they got to pay out in a lawsuit, that's the only thing that will get the attention of the owners who want to change things. If it doesn't affect the bottom line in the pocket, they won't do a thing. But this does, so it will.
It's going to be interesting to see when the television contracts come up and everybody starts talking about where the money is going to go and how much the TVs want to get involved here because, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's still all about ratings and how much money you make, one way or the other.
You nailed it.
Adam, it was so nice of you to be so very calm and so very dispassionate involved in this conversation. We do appreciate that.
I'll try to tone it down next time, Ed.
Do that. Adam Thompson, thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, Stick and Ball is all done for today. Next up, the latest from the Middle East. News Call for this Wednesday, right here on MidPoint.